All right. I think I'm live. I'm going to need some feedback to see if anybody can hear me. How's it going? How's the wind? I'm connected to my phone. I have no idea if this is going well. So, can I get some comments to see if you can hear me okay? And I don't know. Just someone send me a message to making sure that this is okay. But hey, this is a pre-race poll here with Chris Wormy. I'm actually at the race. You can see the track. Well, you can't see the track, but I can when I look to my left. Okay, so Derek says we're good. So yeah, we're gonna get into the okay, thanks, Zach. Oh yeah, I got the stay green in the background. There's Jenny and Mojo. They want the stay green. The video is choppy. Yeah, I'm on my phone, so I apologize. This might be shitty, but anyway, let's take a poll. Happy race day, collective clink. Taking a poll. All right. Well, let's get into this. I'm just gonna run right down the old uh, starting lineup here. Okay, so Kyle Larson on the pole. Can Kyle Larson win today? You bet your ass he can. Kyle Larson was really fast all weekend, and I think that there's a really good chance that he wins the race today. An absolute rocket ship, short run and long run, and really kind of flex his muscles in the first round of qualifying, 3/10 faster than anybody else. Like, I fully expect Kyle Larson to be good. This is absolutely no surprise to anybody. I think I think he's going to be really good. Moving on. Sorry, I usually have more monitors going. I got to go back and forth. Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin likes his car in the long run. I think that there's a good chance that Denny's decent today. The Toyotas, I think were good on the long run. The other guys that I thought were good on the long run struggled on the short run, but Denny was able to go out there and pull it. Like I said on the Stay Green podcast with Todd Furman that comes out every Thursday, I thought that good drivers were going to benefit from this new package. So it'll be interesting to see. Sorry, my friend's kids over here, Mojo, kind of walking away. I just want to keep an eye on him for a second. I think that the Toyotas were struggled a little bit on the short run, but we're really, really good on the long run, and I think that's kind of consistent. So we'll see what happens. We did not see a run of over like 40 laps in practice, so it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens after 50 laps or 60 laps on a set of tires. Who knows? Anyone could emerge, and I think that the Toyotas might have a possibility to do that. Moving on, William Byron. I don't love William Byron at this track, but he obviously qualified well and practiced okay. So I think he's someone that I haven't bet on nor against, and I'm just not quite sure how he's going to kind of stack up today. When it comes to Denny's prior track history here in comps, do you have any pause in investing in him? I have paused investing in anybody not named Kyle Larson at this point. I'm not quite sure that anyone has anything for the 5 car at this point. But who knows what happens in the long run? We could see Kevin Harvick, be good. I don't know. The long run, anything over 40 laps, we just don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to keep moving on here. Like I said, sorry, it's a little slower. Track. Let's address this. Sorry, I'm literally trying to go through this as fast as I can, so I apologize. It's way warmer out here today. Like, it's going to be hot and slick. It's not going to be like it was in practice. So I think we could see different cars be good in the long run, because I think that the track comp right now is nothing like it was on Friday. So going to be very, very different. It's very hot, and it's going to be really slick out there. So that's a good point, Derek. Thanks for bringing that up. I think William Byron, he's an unknown. Would I be shocked if he won? I'd probably be a little shocked if he drove to the field and won. I wouldn't be shocked that because he qualified third that he has a chance to win. Brad Keselowski, qualified well. Man, I kind of have dabbled in this top 4. Like, can Brad kind of keep up there all day? I mean, usually when Brad qualifies well, he's able to keep it up there. It's not like he's going to drop like a rock. Not to mention, if you're worried about the RFK speed, he's not going to need as much of it today on this hot, slick track. I think it's going to be more important that you have a good handling race car, not necessarily a fast race car, if that makes sense. So I think Brad could be good. Chris Bell, I think, is the second best car today over the long run. I think he's one of the guys that with these Toyotas had really consistent lap times after 25 laps. So I expect Chris Bell to be pretty good today. I think that's probably the best outright price available, is right around that 10-1 on Chris Bell. So I anticipate him being a contender. I'll get to Briscoe in a second here, Brandon. I have Bell or Truex in long run. Yeah, I think that, Connor. Ryan, what up? How's it going? Talk to Ryan a lot on Twitter. All right, moving on. We're going to keep going quick. Ross Chastain, I faded him with Kyle Larson back when it was minus 110. I think that line's kind of gone. But, yeah, I think Ross was – it's as bad as he's looked in practice all year, but I anticipate just good drivers staying up front. So I think he'll be decent today. Michael McDowell, I feel like he'll fade like a dump truck. Ryan Blaney, I thought Ryan Blaney was going to be better than he was this year. That's for sure. Or at this track. I kind of anticipate the Fords to be really good. I think that the conditions are much like they were last fall when Ryan Blaney was really good. I have nothing on or against him at this point. I think he's kind of a wild card that could easily win this race. Kyle Busch looked very average in practice, was also average in the Xfinity race. I can't imagine that he's going to be as dominant as he was in somewhere like Fontana, but who knows, after 35 or 40 laps, maybe this 8 car is the fastest car. I do have an outright on Kyle Busch at 13-1, but that was before I saw practice. So kind of, I don't know that I'd be investing in him unless you're looking live and you start to see him pass cars and look good over the long run. Eric Jones, tough to put my finger on this guy. Great qualifying for him, but I don't know. I have a hard time backing him. He was really good here in the Xfinity series, but I'm not super high on Jones. I do have him against Ryan Preece. I think that's available on Caesars at minus 150. I do like that bet. Moving on to Daniel Suarez. I don't know. Suarez is a good qualifying for him. He was terrible last year in the fall, like absolutely atrocious. But I do think that, as this track heats up, maybe the car will come to him a little bit more, especially he has to be better than he was last fall. He was just atrocious. I have nothing on nor against him. Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick was pretty good in the long run here, folks. I would like to see, I think the top 10 on Brian, to address you. Yes, I like Reddick top 10. I think it's top 10 car today. Is he going to be there for the win? I don't know if he's going to be there for the win, but who knows? Like I said, after 40 laps, it's a big unknown. As of right now, it looks like Kyle Larson and Chris Bell are the best, but maybe that's a possibility. Reddick top 10 plus 105. I don't think it's a bad bet. I think he's got a better chance. My beer is right here, Ryan. Come on, try to keep up. Okay, can Amarola drive through the field? Well, that's the $1 million question. I have him against Ryan Preece. I think there's a lot of guys out there that have him top 10, and it was a terrible qualifying, but it was clearly a mistake. He's good at these short, flat tracks. I anticipate him, like, if he doesn't get off to a good start, he's in big trouble because the leaders are going to be coming quickly, and if he doesn't work his way through the field, I could see him losing a lap, and that's a problem. So those to address the Chris Buescher. I don't think he's a top 10 car. I don't think Chris Buescher is. I like him against Ryan Preece in a matchup, but I do not like him to finish in the top 10. Let's see. Let's move on here to Martin Truex Jr., big unknown. I think he'll race better than his qualifying in practice, so he's 13th now. I think he'll be a top 10 car. Will he race for the win? I doubt it. But I think he will probably get like an 8th to 10th place finish. Ty Gibbs, I imagine he'll fade like a dump truck. I don't anticipate him being a good Toyota today. Kevin Harvick can win here. I know that that's not saying anything shocking, but he's really, really good over the long run. This is probably as good as he's looked in practice, in qualifying, in a long time. And I say that, and he qualified 15th, which is crazy. So Kevin Harvick, look for him after 20 laps to be really, really good. I have not bet anything on him. I plan on grabbing him live whenever possible. I anticipate Kyle Larson will get to the lead pretty easily, and I think that he'll kind of check out a little bit. So at that point, I'll start grabbing guys live, and Kevin Harvick is one of those guys that I will grab live. Joey Logano, terrible qualifying, average in practice, kind of shocking how terrible he was. I anticipate him to race better, but I don't think it's going to be through speed. I think he's just not going to make a lot of mistakes. He gets around this track pretty well. I just anticipate him to kind of get into maybe that 10th or 12th place spot, but I don't see him rocketing to the front. I think that Blaney was a little bit better than him in practice, so that's kind of where I'm at on him. Josh Berry, who knows? I think he'll stay on the lead lap today. He's good at short, flat tracks, and he's got a better qualifying and a better practice ahead of or under his belt, so I do think he'll be a little bit better there. Alex Bowman, he's a big wild card. Who knows? I don't know. There's a lot of people. I mean, he's matched up against Chase Briscoe in a matchup. I tend to think that Bowman's going to beat the brakes off Briscoe. Just haven't seen much out of Briscoe. And by the way, when Briscoe doesn't qualify well, he doesn't race well. And so he didn't do that again today. I know he won here last year, but that was a decent qualifying spot, I think. And it certainly was. I think he qualified 3rd or 4th in the fall when he ran well. Bubba Wallace was really good in the long run. I know this isn't a great track for him. If you don't have access to live betting, take Harvick before the race. Yes. That's it. Thank you, Jacob. Yes. definitely do that. Fading Priest across the board again. We will probably get a matchup here shortly on Bet the Board. But yes, I'm fading Priest kind of across the board. The only person I didn't fade him with was Cindric, just because I don't trust him in a fall off. Don't take Chastain versus Larson. No. I mean, yeah, if you want to have like an anti-fragile card, you could take Chastain over Larson. But if everything goes well, no one's passing the 5 card all today unless it's really, really late in a run. That's for sure. And by the way, if the line gets a little higher in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, who runs the high? No one runs the high line better, even if it is a short flat track like Larson. So I don't know. I think you're just money's better on the sidelines if you're looking at that Chastain versus Larson. Moving on. I'm sorry I'm going through this quickly. Bubba Wallace was really good in practice relative to how he normally is. I anticipate him to maybe work his way into the top 10. Now I got people throwing ice at me. I think Bubba will have a better run than he has in the past here. Austin Cindric, I don't hot, slick, fast or hot, slick racetracks with no grip. He tends to struggle, especially the fall off. I don't anticipate him running, probably running in that 20th place. Chris Buescher, same thing. I would put Chris Buescher and AJ Allmendinger kind of in the same boat. Dinger looked decent in practice. He gets around here all right. Same with Chris Buescher. I do have both of them are matched up, I think, against Priest or Noah Gragson. Both of those guys, I think, stink. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was good in the short run. It fell off like a donkey. I don't anticipate Stenhouse being a contender at all today. He's, if anything, fade material. Chase Briscoe, who knows? He kind of got me last year in both races. I didn't think he was going to be as good. I don't think he's going to be that good today, but who knows? He gets around this track and hot and slick, favors those dirt track guys that love a loose race car, that kind of search around for grip. So if that's the case, he could be good. Ryan Priest, dump truck, I hope. I mean, I'm fading him across the board. Justin Haley, usually good tracks for him like this. Usually these short flat tracks like Phoenix and Richmond, he tends to run well. I don't really have a feel for how he was in practice. I think he was kind of average. I have nothing on nor against him. Harrison Burton, I don't think he'll be good. Corey LaJoy, I did bet him against David Gilliland. I think that price, I think, is up to 170 now. I don't know that I trust that, but Gilliland's in that 15 car, and that's not the same equipment that he's been in the past. It's not the same as the 38. He's in a repair car, so I like that matchup. Eric Almirola or Austin Dillon, man, I expected more out of him, but Kyle Busch struggled in practice more than I thought he would, and so did Austin Dillon. So, I mean, Austin Dillon, I'd be shocked if he was able to drive up through the field. Remember that those leaders are going to be coming quick on these guys that qualified poorly. Eric Almirola better get off to a good restart to start this race and drive up through the field a little bit, because if he doesn't get to like 25th place after like 15 to 20 laps, man, that, like I said, the tail end of the field is going to pin him. Even though I think he's going to have a decent car, you still got to make the passes. You still got to run the race. So, like I said, I do have him in a matchup against Priest. Hopefully we can cash that one. Gregson, I think he's trash. I faded him kind of wherever I could. BJ McLeod, Zane Smith, Ty Dillon, Cody Ware. I don't think those guys have a prayer. So any other questions? No. Do not bet Chastain versus Bell either. No. I think Chris Bell is the second best car. I think that there is value on Ross Chastain. Don't get me wrong here, but he's matched up against really, really good cars. If anything, if you like Chastain, I like him more in the 15 to 1 or 12 to 1 range to win the race. I just think you're getting paid off better there. I just don't know how good he's going to be. Kez top 10, Ryan. I think that's a decent bet. I do like Keselowski top 10 and even a little bit top Ford if he tends to run well. I think the only other Ford there's 2 Fords that could catch him, in my opinion. Obviously, Blaney and Kevin Harvick. I don't know who's going to be the best of those, but if you're going to get 10 to 1 on Harvick, I like it. Bubba Wallace over Suarez. Suarez is so tough, man. I just never know with him. And I kind of never know with Bubba. I would not touch that matchup. Suarez and Reddick. I don't have a feel. I think Reddick's going to be decent, if that helps at all. Like I said, I only have a couple outrights. I have Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, but I got those kind of earlier in the week. Those prices aren't around. I'm going to live bet the rest of the guys. I do have matchups, mainly fading Gregson and Priest. And I will get a bet the board matchup out here shortly. I have an idea of what it's going to be, but it's probably going to be a Ryan Priest fade, and it's going to be on Caesars and Will Hill. So that's kind of where I'm at. Any other questions? Before I'm only going to do 15 minutes here today. So we're about to walk in and, ask a bunch of people who they think is going to win the race. Let's see. Head-to-head, Logano, Blaney. Logano had some strange practice times. Yeah, listen, I think Blaney's slightly better than Logano. But like I said, we didn't see a super long run. So, yeah, I mean, I like that. I just think you're on the sidelines with that one. I don't know. Best long shot. Ooh, good question. Let's see. Best long shot. Tyler Reddick at 20-1 is my best long shot. Tyler Reddick. So, all right, everybody. Well, hey, thanks for coming into the pre-race poll. Sorry it was kind of choppy video, and I hope the audio was good. Again, let's do one more collective clink and a pre-race poll. Cheers. Taking a pull. All right, everybody. Happy race day. Go Larson, and let's stay green, unless we need a caution.